The response in the third quarter there when they'd cut it down to 13, you guys went on an 8-0 run.
Yeah.
It's not something that you've been doing lately, responding to those. What went into that response there?
Just trying to settle it down and get the quality looks and shots that we wanted. We had some mistakes early on defensively that allowed them to kind of score better in that quarter than they had in the first half. And so, Chris Paul had missed some easier shots in the first half. Booker overall did a great job, but we knew he was going to get going to some extent as well. And it was really about weathering the storm and getting the same great looks offensively, but tightening up defensively. That's what we talked about in the timeouts.
You had a couple of timeouts there one where you stopped all 5 guys in the court and talked to them, one where you kind of seemed to, like the other day when we talked about it, really kind of lean into these guys a little bit. And you still feel like you need to kind of snap them out of some of the doldrums?
At times, just a reminder of what we're doing well. And when I see the opposite, you got to obviously let them know. And like I said, we made a few mistakes defensively early in the third quarter. It allowed them to get a little bit of rhythm and cut the lead some. So just wanted to stop them there and talk it out first, and they can get back to the huddle and talk it to themselves before I sit down and, drop a play or whatever. And so really wanted to stop them, get their attention. And these are things that we discussed, things we did well in the first half, and let's continue to do that and close out with the win.
And Rob, with the triple-double, his passing, you guys were cutting a lot. Seems like you're cutting a lot more often this time. Was that just a function of the Suns not having their full load and having a rim protector there?
No, we really saw some things that we could exploit with their defense. Had a good practice yesterday and saw a lot of great carryover today. So we wanted to play out of our bigs. We had 28 assists, and Rob and Al had 17 of them. So we wanted to play out of those guys from the high post some. Didn't really matter about the rim protection. It's more so that, and then not relying on one guy as much as we did with Jason out and just putting in Jalen Townsend. So we wanted more movement off ball. We knew we'd get our isolations and pick and rolls eventually as well, but that was the game plan going in to really go through those guys and get more off ball movement, and it worked well, obviously.
And what went into the decision to start Grant?
More size. In general, we were going to be switching a lot. Didn't want to have Paul and Booker and pick and rolls all night with bigs and drops. So we wanted to switch more as we did with Al and Grant to start and just have more size on those guys when we switch on to them.
Coming off that shooting performance the other night, did you have to say anything to these guys about that? They obviously still had their confidence shooting the ball right at the start.
Yeah, we showed the film yesterday, and I would say close to 30 of those 42 were excellent wide open looks. So we showed all the extra passes and contested looks that we did pass up and had open looks. And so had a good day of shooting as well. Besides the cleanup and off-ball stuff that we had some carryover tonight, we shot it well tonight, got a ton of shots up. And like I said, you have to turn the page and have a short memory as far as that. And looks will be there. Obviously, didn't shoot the same tonight. They're not playing as much zone or whatever. And so the shots fell early, and that's obviously a confidence builder for guys, but that's my main thing, stay confident and, turn the page and have a quick memory.
And the way Rob's passing the ball, he tied a career high in assists. How much more are you able to work that into what you're doing?
Yeah, it's a big part of it. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, I didn't know how good of a passer he was. Obviously we would do some of that stuff with Al, coming into the season, but really saw what Rob can do there as well. So you can run through both those guys, but it's more so not being stagnant when the ball goes into them or goes to them at the high post. And so our movement cuts were great. We played with pace and variety today instead of just kind of cross and pass, off the ball. And so the slips, cuts, like I said, we knew we could exploit some things in our defense with their small switching and had some good duck-ins with our bigger guards and bigger wings.
Speaking of Robert, it's been an up and down month for him, and you called him out after the Minnesota game. On nights like this, what does it show you about his ability to bounce back, and obviously also his potential that, but also pass, rebound, block shots?
Yeah, he's more than people think he is. And, I told him about expanding his game, the role, the minutes, everything increasing. And what we see, is a high ceiling from him for a lot of different reasons. And so, he's one guy that I know can take coaching hard. And so I don't really look at it as calling him out. I just, obviously told him the same thing about just keeping yourself in the game. Some of the fouls where he left his feet and the reach in to get his fifth foul in the game like that where we're short of bodies. And so he's been a guy that's been resilient and bounced back every time I've challenged him. And I love that about him.
Was that a good practice? I mean, practice, but just holding on. I mean, they didn't pull their stars till a minute left, 30 seconds left. It wasn't like they threw the towel with 5 minutes left. I mean, they kept trying to come at you. Was that kind of a good rehearsal for a team that knows how to play so well together to keep coming at you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, they were giving some different looks here and there out of timeouts, and I think our guys responded well to them. We've seen quite a bit of zone well, so we're a little sharper as far as those things. It's just in general, we have good, solid 3-4 sets that we like to run against zone, and then you just have to make the shots. And so it was good to weather the storm. Obviously, that's been an area of concern this year so far, and we've given up enough leads. So I'm not thinking about taking guys out in a minute or so left until it's, almost done. And even with that, we just wanted to close out the game and finish the 30 seconds. So